Bessie Smith, born on April 15, 1894, died on September 26, 1937, was an American blues singer widely renowned during the Jazz Age. Nicknamed the Empress of the Blues, she was the most popular female blues singer of the 1920s and 1930s. She is often regarded as one of the greatest singers of her era, and was a major influence on fellow blues singers, as well as jazz vocalists. Born in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Smith was young when her parents died, and she and her 6 siblings survived by performing on street corners. She began touring and performed in a group that included Ma Rainey, and then went out on her own. Her successful recording career with Columbia Records began in 1923, but her performing career was cut short by a car crash that killed her at the age of 43. Smith began forming her own act around 1913, at Atlanta's 81 Theatre. By 1920, she had established a reputation in the South and along the East Coast. At the time, sales of over 100,000 copies of Crazy Blues, recorded for OK Records by the singer Mamie Smith, no relation, pointed to a new market. The recording industry had not directed its product to black people, but the success of the record led to a search for female blues singers. Hoping to capitalize on this new market, Smith began her recording career in 1923. Bessie Smith was signed to Columbia Records in 1923 by Frank Walker, a talent agent who had seen her perform years earlier. Her first recording session for Columbia was on February 15, 1923. It was engineered by Dan Hornsby, who was recording and discovering many Southern music talents of that era. For most of 1923, her records were issued on Columbia's regular A series. When the company established a Race Records series, Smith's Cemetery Blues September 26, 1923, was the first issued. Both sides of her first record, Downhearted Blues backed with Gulf Coast Blues, were hits. An earlier recording of Downhearted Blues by its co-writer Alberta Hunter had previously been released by Paramount Records. As her popularity increased, Smith became a headliner on the Theatre Owners Booking Association (TOBA) circuit and rose to become its top attraction in the 1920s. Working a heavy theatre schedule during the winter and performing in tent shows the rest of the year, Smith became the highest-paid black entertainer of her day and began traveling in her own 72-foot-long railroad car. Columbia's publicity department nicknamed her Queen of the Blues, but the national press soon upgraded her title to Empress of the Blues. Smith's music stressed independence, fearlessness, and sexual freedom, implicitly arguing that working-class women did not have to alter their behavior to be worthy of respect. Despite her success, neither she nor her music was accepted in all circles. She once auditioned for Black Swan Records, W. E.B. Du Bois was on its board of directors, and was dismissed because she was considered too rough, as she supposedly stopped singing to spit. The businessmen involved with Black Swan Records were surprised when she became the most successful diva because her style was rougher and coarser than Mamie Smith. Even her admirers, white and black, considered her a rough woman, i.e., working class or even low class. Smith had a strong contralto voice, which recorded well from her first session, which was conducted when recordings were made acoustically. The advent of electrical recording made the power of her voice even more evident. Her first electrical recording was Cake Walking Babies from Home, recorded on May 5, 1925. Smith also benefited from the new technology of radio broadcasting, even on stations in the segregated South. For example, after giving a concert to a white-only audience at a theater in Memphis, Tennessee, in October 1923, she performed a late-night concert on station WMC, which was well received by the radio audience. Musicians and composers like Danny Barker and Tommy Dorsey compared her presence and delivery to a preacher because of her ability to enrapture and move her audience. She made 160 recordings for Columbia, often accompanied by the finest musicians of the day, notably Louis Armstrong, Coleman Hawkins, Fletcher Henderson, James P. Johnson, Joe Smith, and Charlie Green. A number of Smith's recordings, such as Alexander's Ragtime Band in 1927, quickly became among the best-selling records of their respective release years. On September 26, 1937, Smith was critically injured in a car crash on U.S. Route 61 between Memphis, Tennessee, and Clarksdale, Mississippi. Her lover, Richard Morgan, was driving and misjudged the speed of a slow-moving truck ahead of him. Skid marks at the scene suggested that Morgan tried to avoid the truck by driving around its left side, but he hit the rear of the truck side-on at high speed. The tailgate of the truck sheared off the wooden roof of Smith's old Packard vehicle. Smith, who was in the passenger seat, probably with her right arm or elbow out the window, took the full brunt of the impact. Morgan escaped without injuries. Smith's funeral was held in Philadelphia a little over a week later, on October 4, 1937. Initially, her body was laid out at Upsher's funeral home. As word of her death spread through Philadelphia's black community, her body had to be moved to the O.V. Caddo Elks Lodge to accommodate the estimated 10,000 mourners who filed past her coffin on Sunday, October 3. Contemporary newspapers reported that her funeral was attended by about 7,000 people. Far fewer mourners attended the burial at Mount Lawn Cemetery, in nearby Sharon Hill. Jack G. thwarted all efforts to purchase a stone for his estranged wife, once or twice pocketing money raised for that purpose. Smith's grave remained unmarked until a tombstone was erected on August 7, 1970, paid for by the singer Janis Joplin and Juanita Green, who as a child had done housework for Smith. Dory Previn wrote a song about Joplin and the tombstone, Stone for Bessie Smith, for her album Mythical Kings and Iguanas. The Afro-American Hospital, now the Riverside Hotel, was the site of the dedication of the fourth historical marker on the Mississippi Blues Trail. Thanks for watching Hurtley channel. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe our channel.